Hello, every single one of you on the internet. Thanks for jumping in here on the live review and discussion of Australia's incredible 6-5 victory over Zambia. Whether you're watching live or on replay, jump in the comments, jump in the live chat, and have your say. We are looking to create a nice, fun discussion here. Like-minded football fans, and there is plenty to discuss when it comes to today's match, man. I mean, 6-5. There are so many narratives. There are so many storylines when it comes to this game. We are going live here on YouTube and TikTok here across the Coast Switch Football channels. There's so much to go through. So we're going to be talking about the lineups, obviously the narrative of the game, and how it looks for the Tillies with one group stage game remaining that taking place Thursday morning Australian Eastern Standard Time against the USA. So it's a really, really fascinating time at the moment to be a Matildas fan. And this, I mean, for me, I said it in like my review that I put out earlier today, that this, I think, is probably the craziest Matildas game I've ever seen. Arguably the craziest football game I've ever seen. I mean, it was simply an emotional roller coaster, I think is a fair way to sum it up. Just the way it was so up and down, back and forth. It was chaotic. It didn't even feel like a football match at times. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way. It was sort of surpassed a football match. It just turned into utter chaos. And who could have guessed that final result in the end, 6-5. Good to see you guys tuning in across YouTube and TikTok here. Drop your thoughts on this one in the chat. We'll be running through some various points throughout the live stream. Good to see Troy in the chat. Says Lockie, I missed it, but good to get a win. Hey, that's like the main thing that we should be taking away as well. You're right, Troy. Good to see you here, Troy. Hope you're doing well. That's the win is the most important thing. Like that was the main aim. Obviously, it was a real necessity, I think, to get a win here against Zambia in the second group stage game. We needed to get that 3 points on the board following that loss against Germany a few days ago. We got it. We got it in the end. We did it the hard way, that's for sure. Like when that's obviously a bit of a cliche term, and they did it the hard way. Like this is the definition of doing it the hard way. From 5-2 down, about an hour into the game, it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Sam in the chat, good to see Sam here as always. Says I do think some aspects the Matildas did get lucky due to poor defending and goalkeeping from Zambia. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying there, Sam. Yeah, there was. There were certainly some moments that I think, well, it was interesting. I thought actually, I mean, Matildas could have had even more goals, I think, considering the number of chances that we had. We'll look at the stats a little bit later. But there was poor defending all around. I mean, poor defending is what we saw from both sides. And that's something that we have to tighten up for this final game against USA, because we saw the US defeated Germany, 4-1 overnight as well. And they're cruising atop the group. It's going to be really tough to get a result against the Americans. So we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. But the goalkeeping from Zambia certainly helped us a little bit. That free kick from Steph Catley, which was it's funny trying to remember all the goals. I believe that was the fourth goal, Steph Catley's goal. It was the one before the penalty to make it 3-2. Yeah, it was certainly an interesting one, and there was some truly bizarre defending for both sides, but especially from Zambia. We had so many opportunities where our attackers were just completely unmarked in the box, and yeah. So I mean, 6-5. I mean, 6-5 is just a remarkable scoreline, but it could have been well more. G'day, Kurt on TikTok. How's it going? Good to see you here. We are live on YouTube and TikTok for this live discussion. We're going to be live for the next hour or so. So I'd love to get your thoughts on this game and how you think it panned out. But 6-5, what a scoreline, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible. Reverend Zadvak, YouTube, dude, good to see you tuning in as always. How are you going? Says, I think other than a huge change of fortunes and winning a medal here, TG, Tony Gustafsson, will have to move on. Yeah, I agree. And here's the thing, right? That's why this game is so crazy, because Zambia scored their 5th goal in the 58th minute to make it 5-2. And at that point, I was like, this is remarkable. This is incredible. Had the results stayed that way, had it ended 5-2 to Zambia, which could have happened, totally could have happened. Zambia obviously taking their chances in front of goal. We were just really not on it. up until that point at least. If it had ended 5-2, there would have been calls for Gustafsson to step down today. I know it's mid tournament, but there's been pressure building on Gustafsson. I mean, you can look back to the last few years, even like prior to the Women's World Cup, there was pressure mounting on Tony Gustafsson. You know, I mean, imagine losing 5-2 to a team that's ranked, 50 plus spots behind you. Look, credit to Zambia. I don't want to take anything away from Zambia. Like Barbara Banda, what a game! And how about that first goal too? That first goal from Barbara Banda, scoring from long range, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Raven Zavak also says we have such attacking talent. The job of the manager has to be to sort out the defense, and too often we've been opened up. Yeah, it's not good enough at the moment. I still think Claire Polkinghorn has to come, and that's my feelings. So the goals for this game, man. I mean, here's a look at it. Like, it's absolutely crazy looking at the layout of things here. I mean, first minute, Barbara Banda scoring one of the most incredible goals. A phenomenal strike. Phenomenal strike. That's one of the best goals I've ever seen. That's one of the best goals I've ever seen in a football match. Especially, I mean, just the shock factor as well. Obviously, it came, 40 seconds into the game. I think it was Alana Kennedy with a loose touch, if I'm remembering correctly, giving the ball away in midfield. Barbara Banda ends up with the ball, turns and just goes for it, and just the most incredible goal to start off. And you can't blame Mackenzie Arnold from there. I mean, it was a perfect strike coming off the underside of the crossbar. It's going to be hard for Mackenzie to stop that. And then Alana Kennedy equalising in the 7th minute. That sort of set the tone for things. Both teams on the score sheet early on. 33rd minute, Banda scoring again. Hayley Rasso scoring soon after. There was a few times throughout this game, hey, how there was really quick replies from Australia, which was good to see. A in the chat on TikTok, do you think we've got a shot against the USA? I don't think we'll win. I don't think we'll win. With the way we're playing at the moment, I'd be stunned if we won. I mean, we were stunned by this result, but I'd be pretty stunned if we were to get a result against the US. They're just playing too well at the moment. If we can get a draw, that'd be a huge result, that's for sure. Second half, as it went on, Kundan Angie getting a goal in the 21st minute as well. All of a sudden, Zambia up 3-1. Rasso with that hitting back with that second goal for Australia, as we mentioned. And then Banda with another one late on in the first half, and going into the halftime sheds with 4-2 was just like, it was just surreal, It was surreal. I was like, is this score like what's happening here? And I would have loved to have been in the halftime sheds, or maybe I wouldn't have been, because Tony Gustafsson, I wonder what he would have said to the team in that moment. I mean, no one on either side expected this scoreline heading in at halftime. Hey, 4-2 to Zambia. Just a goal fest already in that first half. And look, Zambia came out and continued in fine fashion. Kundan Angie with another goal in the 56th minute. It was just absolutely incredible. 5-2 down Australia. And I was at that point, I was like, there's no way we're coming back from this game. There's no way coming back. So look, credit to the Tillies as well for like really, really digging deep and coming through in the end. The own goal from the Zambia keeper, Musol, gifting us a way back. And then Steph Catley, I mean, in terms of, we're going to be talking about a little bit later in terms of our player of the match, and I'll give you my 3-2-1 votes for who I thought Matilda's best players were in this game. It was a tricky one to pick as well, because there weren't necessarily too many standouts, but Steph Catley's probably the one. I think she had the 2 goals and I think 2 assists as well. I mean, just a real heroic performance from the captain, who really had to rally her side here in really, really tricky circumstances. I mean, you're down 5-2 against a team who is over 50 places behind you in the FIFA rankings, in a crucial game as well, where they could not afford to lose. Stepped up with a free kick, obviously the error from the goalkeeper, and then a cool penalty as well. Steph Catley, always reliable from the penalty spot. And then Michelle Heyman as well. I mean, that's like a separate discussion as well. Michelle Heyman and whether she should have come in from the start. And I think that was the expectation of a lot of people heading into this game. We saw Courtney Vine start the Germany game, didn't have too much of an impact in that game, and everyone was expecting, I think, Michelle Heyman to come in and start, from the get go here, and she didn't. Emily Van Egmond. Let's chat about the lineup now, actually, because it was interesting to see Emily Van Egmond shifted into the starting lineup and starting sort of in an advanced role alongside Mary Fowler in sort of a 4-4-2. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Tony Gustafson's done it a few times over the last few years. He did it in the Women's World Cup. I think some of the group stage games, Van Egmond started up top. I'm not a fan. Emily Van Egmond, I think, is a fantastic player. I think she's better utilised in a deeper role, in a sort of a deep lying midfield role. But that was the way Gustafsson went. Van Egmond, unfortunately, didn't have too much of an impact in this game as well. It was only until the likes of Heyman came on that we started to turn things around. Troy, when do we play the USA? That is on Thursday morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time, 3 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Thursday morning. So another quick turnaround. G'day, Dom. Good to see you here, man. A win's a win, but need a bit more focus in defense. Looking for a strong performance against the USA. Yeah, we need to tighten up that defense. So, the back four from the game for this game. I mean, you look at the defense that we have. Even in defensive midfield, we're not really missing anyone, are we? Like that's like a full strength back line for the Matildas. Obviously, Mackenzie Arnold in goals. A back four of Carpenter, Kennedy, Hunt, and Catley. I mean, that's basically first choice. I raised it in the live discussion that we did after the Germany game a few days ago. That I thought after that game, I thought Claire Hunt was a little bit shaky in that match. I thought Claire Polkinghorn should have come in for this game. And I wonder now if maybe that's really playing on the mind of Tony Gustafsson to bring in Claire Polkinghorn. I just think, you look, for these crucial tournament games, I mean, someone like Claire Polkinghorn and her experience could be really, really helpful in this sort of situation. Don't get me wrong. I love Claire Hunt. I think she's a fantastic defender. I thought she was incredible in the World Cup last year. I thought she was one of Australia's best players in the World Cup last year. But yeah, man, the defense has just been uncharacteristically making mistakes this tournament. That's the concern. G'day, Bloodhound on TikTok. How you going, man? Good to see you. Raven Zarbak says, I hate Emily Van Egmond in that role, never effective. Yeah, it's just, I don't get it. It just doesn't seem to suit her abilities best, So she just, I mean, I don't remember her touching the ball that much, honestly. I think sitting in a deep lying midfield role works for her. But having said that, I wouldn't drop Gorry or Cooney Cross for Van Egmond. It's an interesting discussion when you look at that midfield area for the Matildas. Rasso and Ford, you got to keep them on the wings. They're probably the two first choice wingers for the Matildas. It was interesting as well to see that Courtney Vine didn't even get brought on in this game. Only a few substitutions in this game for the Matildas. They all came on at once around the hour mark when we were down 5-2. Torpy, Heyman, and it was Claire Wheeler who came on as well. Good to see Claire Wheeler getting some decent minutes as well. Dom, yeah, dude, I was actually thinking that during this game as well. Basically, a full 18 months of football, maybe catching up with some players. Yeah, when we were down 5-2, or around that, around halftime, I was like, I mean, Tony Gustafsson was talking about how, in the training camp leading up to this Olympics tournament, they were really training intensely to sort of get the players prepared for these short turnarounds, get them really push them and make sure they're ready for these quick turnarounds, I guess. And yeah, you just wonder if this hectic schedule that they've been going through for, as you say, they're Dom, the last 18 months essentially, is indeed starting to catch up with them. Potentially, because that's the thing. There were some really uncharacteristic errors and sloppiness. I mean, we saw it in the Germany game, especially, and even in this game as well. The sloppiness was really hurting us, and you just wonder if that's coming from these are good players, man. Quality players. Just giving the ball away cheaply. You just wonder if tiredness is an aspect here. Potentially, it could be. It could well be. And it's a concern as well, considering that, We're only 2 games into this tournament. If we want to get a medal, if we want to have a deep run in this tournament, man, we're going to make sure we're fit and fresh here. But yeah, these quick turnarounds, they hurt. Hey, so it's an intense schedule. I mean, the good thing is, if players do start to get tired, if we pick up any injuries, I do think we have the depth to fill the gaps. I mean, you look at the bench here. I mean, Heyman, Torpy, Polkinghorn, Vine, Yallop, Wheeler. I mean, Tegan Marker and Lydia Williams are the 2 backup keepers as well. And obviously, we got those other players who can slot in as well. Shine Fry can slot in. Like, I really trust our bench. I don't think it's a situation of like, our starting lineup is like the players that we want to keep fit and fresh. Obviously, we do. But if any of them were to drop out, I'm confident in the replacements who are there to jump in. But in terms of looking at this lineup for the USA game, I think the one clear change has to be Van Egmond out, Heyman in. I think that makes sense. Got to start Heyman from the start. Look, who knows whether she's like secretly carrying an injury or something. Maybe that's why she hasn't been getting too much game time. But in a crucial final group stage game against USA, where we really have to get a result to keep ourselves in contention. Yeah, man. That's Michelle Heyman's time. I mean, she's coming off winning the Golden Boot in the women's. She had a fantastic season with Canberra United last time around, and she's got experience in these big tournaments with Australia. This is Michelle Heyman's time for sure. It absolutely is. I want to talk about some of the stats from this game as well. Obviously, the scoreline is pretty remarkable. Check out these stats. This is from the Olympics official website. The shot stats, just remarkable. 27 shots for Australia, 25 for Zambia. I can't remember the last time I looked at the stats of a football match where both teams racked up 20 plus shots, 25 plus shots. Like both teams racked up over 25 shots. Across the entire match, there were 52 shots total. 52. That's crazy. It's crazy. It sums up the game. Sums up the game. 14 on target for Australia, 11 on target for Zambia. Could have been even more goals. Possession was pretty even. 7 corners either way. The thing that I noticed as well in this game, and we'll look at that lineup graphic again, because there was so much space. I was really surprised to see the amount of space that was opening up in front of the Matildas backline. I thought that we were sitting pretty deep at times. I don't know if anyone else noticed that. The way that the back four for Australia was sitting really, really deep. And I mean, I imagine it was, because obviously the Australian defence was wary of the pace of Zambia's 2 strikers, especially Barbara Banda, the captain, who was obviously very dangerous in this game, scoring a hat-trick. I mean, just sitting back to, don't want to keep too high of a line, because if they get her in behind, she's away through on goal and scoring. But especially, look, I understand it in like the first half, but in the second half, when we really did have to push for it in the end, and even in that first half, I think it would have helped us as well. I think we may have conceded less goals if we just really pushed Zambia back. They had way too much time in our own half. They had way too much time and space in our own half. So that's something that I noticed here that I wonder if, that's something that needs to be rectified for the upcoming game. The space between the back line and midfield as well, because it seemed to just really open up so many times, leading to 25 shots conceded. That's the concerning thing. I mean, you look at this game and the previous game as well. Not only have we conceded 8 goals over the last couple of games, but we've conceded, well over 30 shots. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head how many shots Germany had. It was surely double digits. And then Zambia racking up 25 shots in this game. And we've got to find some way to reduce that number. Because if USA are getting, double digits when it comes to when it comes to shots on goal, it's it's going to be danger for Australia. Player votes for this game. Who was your player of the match for this game? There's, I feel like Steph Catley is probably the obvious choice, with a couple of goals and a couple of assists, and just a heroic performance leading her side through those difficult moments. especially in that second half, really having to dig deep, come back from 4 goals, 3 goals down, scoring 4 consecutive goals to secure the win at the end. I thought Caitlin Ford was pretty dangerous throughout most of the match, having a number of shots on goal, coming inside at times. I still think we haven't seen the best of Caitlin Ford yet this tournament. If we can really unlock Caitlin Ford and her potential, then there's goals to come from her. And Kyra Cooney-Cross, I gave her one vote as well because, look, she played a full 90 minutes in this game. Katrina Gorry came off again, as she did in the first game. But Kyra Cooney-Cross trusted to see out the full match in midfield. And she's a player that just works so hard, and I think deserved a bit of recognition for that as well. I was going to give a vote to Michelle Heyman, but for scoring that late winner. But I did want to recognise Kyra and just the work and effort that she put in. Leanne saying, good game, wasn't it? It was indeed a very look. If you're a neutral, for the neutral fan, it would have been so much fun. But for me, I just remember feeling like the full circuit of emotions, if you like. I was just completely bemused and just shocked and stunned when we were down 5-2. I just could not believe my eyes. Sure, a lot of Aussies waking up early in the morning thought it was a bad dream. Good to see Boston in the chat as well. Hope you're doing well, Boston. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this live discussion surrounding the Matildas 6-5. You heard that right. 6-5 win over Zambia. Jump in the chat, say g'day. Drop your thoughts on this match. We've got a huge game coming up in a few days' time against Zambia. Make sure to hit the like button to support. We've been doing these live streams following game day for the Matildas games in the Olympics. So we will be live on Thursday afternoon as well, following the Matildas game against USA. And hopefully the Olympic dream is indeed staying alive. Tarnley, good to see you here as well. How did Zambia bottle that? It's an interesting question. I mean, because they were up 5-2, weren't they? And look, any team who's up 5-2 and going to lose the game from there, I mean, it's pretty remarkable. Yeah, because we're not really thinking about that perspective too much, but it is, when you think about it, it is phenomenal, isn't it? I mean, you're up 5-2 and you lose the game, with half an hour to go, roughly that. That's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. That's the thing for Zambia. I mean, they were so good in attack, but just so many times defensively just made too many errors. Goalkeeping errors, some defensive mistakes, a foul for the penalty as well. But, yeah, man, if they just tighten that up a little bit, they could have easily cruised through to victory here. My play votes: 3 for Steph Catley, 2 for Caitlin Ford, 1 for Kyra Cooney-Cross. It was a tricky one. As I was watching the game, I was like, who am I going to give my player votes to? It's like no one really felt like they were having their best game. You know what I mean? But overall, in the end, it was a real team effort, I thought. Obviously, Michelle Heyman did score that winner, but just the overall spirit from the team just to keep going, keep driving, keep chasing that win. And it did feel, as we scored, look, those couple goals from Steph Catley to get us back. At 5-4, when we were down 5-4, I was like, I think we might win this game. At that point, I was like, I think we might win this game. I think there's a chance here. And came through in the end, especially that last 10 minutes as well. We had a lot of opportunities in that final 10 minutes. And it was painful seeing so many of those chances go begging, man. Absolutely painful. And that's why we need someone, again, going back to that point about Michelle Heyman. We'll talk about that lineup again. Michelle Heyman. I mean, she really is the only natural striker in the squad at the moment. Obviously, in the Germany game, we did have Courtney Fine start up top through the middle alongside Mary Fowler. In that Germany game, we did see Gustafsson shuffle things around a little bit. Caitlin Ford came central and Vine went out to the left. I think at one point in this game as well, Hayley Rasso came central as well, played through the middle, which was interesting. But for me, it just seems obvious. And I feel like, I mean, do you guys agree as well? Like, surely Heyman has to come in for Van Egmond and sort of that front four, like our four main attackers, like Rasso forward out wide, Heyman through the middle with Fowler in behind. I mean, it makes sense. Like all those players are playing in their ideal position. I think, Mary Fowler's best position is playing in behind a striker that she can, create opportunities for. Absolutely spot on here, Dom. Barbara Bander definitely showed why she's one of the best strikers in the world. I mean, dude, I still can't get over that first goal. That was insane. Just the strike, like 40 seconds in, like I was just like settling in for the game. I was like, all right, kickoff, here we go. And then all of a sudden, bang, like out of nowhere. Just the most incredible strike. Right with you there, Dom. Heyman must start against the USA. Yeah. It just seems like the obvious choice. And especially like if Tony Gustafsson didn't think that already, I mean, surely he has to now, considering that Heyman was the one to go through, and it was a really nice goal she scored too. Like she was played through the middle. She had a lot of space. Goalkeeper was closing in, and then the way she just curled it around the keeper just delightfully. I mean, the finish was really, really cool. In a pressure moment like that, like 90th minute, it's 5-5. Your team have been fighting back for the win. She curled it around the keeper. Absolutely incredible. Good day, Oz Hub Football. Good to see you here. A long time no chat. How have you been? I've been well. Man. Very much recovering from this morning and the emotional roller coaster that was this 6-5 win for Australia. But good to see Oz Hub Football here in chat. So Michelle Heyman feels like the most obvious change here for the lineup. I don't think there's any changes I would make. I mean, the other one that I'm like 50-50 on still at the moment is potentially Claire Polkinghorne to come in. Just to shore up that defense. I mean, it was pretty shocking what we saw USA do to Germany in that previous game today to win 4-1. I mean, that was really, really incredible. I don't know if we saw that scoreline coming. I was calling a draw for that game. I was like, oh, we might see a draw. Might see a draw in that one. Unrelated to the Tillies, but we'll answer this one. Anne-Marie in the chat says, what do you reckon of Jacob Farrell's transfer? Very excited for Jacob Farrell. Obviously sad to be losing him at the Mariners, but hey, joining Portsmouth, linking up with a couple fellow Aussies in Cassini, Yengi, Sammy Silvera, maybe Alex Robertson. We'll see. So this is how the group standings look heading into the final game against USA on Thursday morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time. USA currently top of the group, 6 points, 6+ when it comes to the GD. Germany in second place, 3 points. Australia are behind on 3 points due to goal difference. Zambia on 0 points after losing against both USA and Australia. So Australia are still in a decent position to qualify. Obviously, the top-ranked third-place teams go through. Obviously, it'd be nice to finish higher up in the group. So what does that look like if Australia were to finish up into second place? Or potentially first? I mean, it's very unlikely, right? But for Australia to cruise through in second place potentially, it's unlikely because it would mean we would have to get a good result again, or potentially a draw against USA. But then that would mean we would need Germany to lose against Zambia, which I feel like is unlikely. I don't think we can see Germany losing to Zambia. Hey, no one saw this scoreline, so anything can happen. Who knows? Zambia might throw up a huge surprise. But while Zambia has so much pace and so many danger players in attack, and they are capable of scoring goals against Germany defensively, they've just been too leaky this tournament. -4 when it comes to the goal difference. So it'll be really tough to see Zambia get a result there against Germany. So if Germany were to win, potentially going up, to 6 points, then there's essentially no way for us to. Well, we would have to smash US 4-0, something like that. 4-0, I think. I don't think it's happening. I don't think there's any chance of happening. So I think we have to back on ourselves. Hopefully, getting through in the third place, which I think we should do. And then it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens in terms of how the teams shape up for the knockout stage. I love the optimism, Dom. Dom says USA are looking good under Emma Hayes, so I'm predicting an optimistic draw. Hey, I'd love a draw. We'd love a draw against USA. I think that would be a decent result. Give us a bit of confidence. Especially, you know what I want as well against USA? It's just like less goals. Which look, doesn't sound fun, but I just want our defense just to tighten up a little bit. Like I'll take a 0-0 after this result. I'll take a 0-0 against a good USA team. I'll take a 0-0. We'll take that if we can cruise through to the knockouts. Obviously, we have huge aspirations of taking a medal home from France, and it's going to be tough, man. There's so many quality sides in contention in this women's football tournament. You look at Spain, who have been good so far. Obviously, France on home soil, even though they did lose last night, didn't they? Japan, Brazil. Ozhub Football says, I'm not optimistic at all heading into USA. Yeah, it's a big ask. It's a big ask. But if we can, after this tournament, which hasn't been the best so far, if we get a draw, as Dom said there, predicting an optimistic draw, if we can get that, I think that'd be great. I think that'd be huge. I'd take that for sure. I'd take that for sure. And then it's going to be, I mean, who knows what happens in the knockout stage. This has been like a chaotic tournament. It's been kind of enjoyable to watch, though. It's been a real dramatic up and down roller coaster, that's for sure. New Jets Football in the chat. Good to see you here. I'm doing well. Good to see some fellow creators in here. Everyone go check out Dom's Ball Chat, New Jets Football, as well as Ozhub Football. There's a great community of content creators when it comes to Australian football. Go check them out. Any others in the chat here that I've missed as well, feel free to shout yourselves out as well. All right, we're going to be live for the next 25 minutes or so, so feel free. We'll do some griddle towards the end as well. But feel free to jump in the chat, have your say. What are your feelings after this incredible result? 6-5 for Australia over Zambia. It really, really is phenomenal. I said it at the start of the stream, and I'll say it again. I think the most incredible Matildas game I've ever watched. It was all attack and no defense. I mean, that was the other thing as well. Like I saw some people saying it was like, oh, it was an amazing game. It was a great game. I mean, in terms of like your performance, like it feels weird saying it was a great game just because, like Australia showed great spirit to come back and come back from 5-2 down, score 4 goals, win the game. That was incredible. But when we were down 5-2, I felt the complete opposite of that. Like I felt the opposite of emotion. Newer Jets asks, were you happy with the starting 11? Well, let's talk about that starting 11 once again, because for me, the one change that I would make again is Michelle Hammond coming into the side, I think, to drop Van Egmond back to the bench. We love Emily Van Egmond. I just don't think her best position is in that advanced role alongside Mary Fowler. I think Michelle Hammond has to come in. So that feels like the most obvious change for me heading into the USA game. And hopefully for the remainder of the tournament, as long as we stay alive. And then, Polkinghorne maybe. I mean, one player who I just like throw like another one in there, like throw something different in there. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but like Torpy. Torpy's a player who I really, really like. And I'd love to see her given a shot, given a go, I think, just to provide something different. We know she's a versatile player, can play in like a fullback position or out wide. When she came off the bench, she played on the right wing, I believe. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Yeah. I think one of the main takeaways we can take from the lineup so far, as we look at the players that we've been fielding, again, like overall, it's a really strong squad. I'm glad that The likes of Kathleen Ford haven't, succumbed to those injuries that kept them out of the Canada game a few weeks ago. None of these players are playing at their best. None of these players are playing, they're not in peak form right now. And maybe, as we were talking about a bit earlier, as Dom brought up, like maybe that does come down to tiredness, the fact that it has been such a hectic schedule for these players over the last couple of years. Good to see Ted shooting on TikTok. Are you looking forward to the new A-League season? Yes, of course. It's months away, but we are already eagerly awaiting the new A-League season. We've got the Australia Cup round of 32 kicking off tomorrow night, which is very exciting. Dom says, I was a little surprised not to see Fryer come on as an impact. Seems like Tony Gustafson rates her highly. Yeah, I think especially after that Canada game, I think he was really I think he said it himself after that Canada game a few weeks ago that he thought that was her breakout game. That was like where she really got to show her stuff, and I think she was fantastic in that game, wasn't she, Sian Fryer? Not included on the bench. Good to, it didn't really get mentioned too much, but great to see Tamiki Yallop included on the bench. She didn't come off the bench, but she was ruled out of the first game against Germany due to injury. Fryer did come in for her. So that was one other change in this game in the matchday squad. Fryer dropped out and Yallop in. I do like Sian Fryer, though. I think she provides something different. Left-footed player. Obviously, provides a different sort of element compared to what Caitlin Ford can offer as well. Caitlin Ford, obviously a right-footed player. Fryer more favours the left-hand side. So that provides something different. Is this team? The other question as well, like, hey, we could well make it out of the group, and then the question becomes that is this team capable of winning a medal? Is this team that we see now, like fielded by Tony Gustafson, capable of winning a medal? Looking at the opposition, I think that's the thing that sort of is worrying me a little bit. I trust our players and I trust the team. I think Gustafson, even though I think this might be maybe his last major tournament in charge of Australia, potentially, he's gotten us to the top 4 of the last couple of major tournaments, right? Got us 4th place in Tokyo. Very disappointing to lose that bronze medal match against the USA, of course. And then got us to the semi-finals of the Women's World Cup last year on home soil, which was the furthest we've ever gone. And one thing that we have learned, especially under Gustafson's leadership over the last couple of years, is that when this side is backs against the wall, pressure moments, pressure games, that's when they step up. This team really, really has that in them. And we know that because we've seen it on multiple occasions now. Those crucial moments. Obviously, when it comes to the latter stages of the tournament, and we're up against those quality teams, it gets really tricky then. But this team, I believe, is still capable of making a deep run at this Olympics tournament, despite some really shaky performances from the team and some individual players as well. But unrelated to the Matildas, but we'll pull this one up as well because we're all excited about the A-League season coming up. When does the A-League's draw come out? We don't know. That's the boring answer. I keep seeing people on like Twitter and stuff on X saying that it could come out in the coming weeks. We saw from when the A-League's on the A-League's official website when they announced the Unite round details a couple weeks ago, they said that the draw would come out. I think they used the term in the coming weeks. Which who knows? Like that could mean maybe a month from now. Who knows? Who knows? I think it could come out in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. Fingers crossed, right? I think last year the A-League's draw came out towards the end of August, if I remember correctly. Towards the end of August. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So, Caitlin Ford, Mary Fowler, Hayley Raso, Guy Rakuni Cross, Katrina Gorry. Carpenter, Kennedy, Hunt, Catley, Arnold, Van Egmond, or whether it's Vine, Heyman. This team, for me, I think is certainly capable of bringing home a medal from Paris. It's going to take a real step up, I think, a collective step up. And that's the other thing that this team has is like the incredible togetherness and spirit. And hopefully it comes through in the end for us. On the A-League's draw, Dom is chiming in saying, I've heard we won't have a draw until late August, but it's all speculation. Yeah, okay. We shall see. Hey. Yeah, just because like late August was, I think that's when it came out last year, if I remember correctly. So who knows? It could still be a while off, but dude, hopefully we get it soon, just so we can start. It's always exciting actually having the draw, then we can start planning, away days and all that kind of thing, which is always exciting. We obviously already have the details for Unite Round, which is happening in November. And I do like the changes that they've made to Unite Round as well for this year, bringing in, just the 2 stadiums. I think that's going to be a positive change. And as well, just the layout of the fixtures, I think, works a little bit better. No clashing for the men's and women's teams if you're a fan of, one club. And I am interested to see, though, I'm still on the fence about them playing derbies during Unite Round. I am on the fence about that. F3 derby in the men's on the Friday night, Sydney derby in the men's on the Saturday night, and then A-League Women's Grand Final rematch on the Sunday Arvo, a Leichhardt Oval. So I'm on the fence about that. We'll see how it goes. Who knows? It might be great. It might be cool. It might be good vibes. But we'll see. We shall see. So a little bit later on in the stream, we're going to play some Griddle. For those that don't know, Griddle's an A-League player guessing game. We're going to test our A-League knowledge. So we're going to play that in about 10 minutes or so. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this live discussion. Dom says, in my opinion, Sydney derby makes sense. The F3 is a little strange. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, eh? See how it goes. It's not the first time. Of course, the OG fans will know. It's not the first time an F3 derby has been played at Allianz Stadium. The last time an F3 derby was played at Allianz Stadium was the 2008 A-League Men's Grand Final. Francesco on TikTok, g'day, asks, thoughts on Ryan Grant confirmed as Sydney FC captain? Makes sense. Makes sense, yeah. That's all I have to say on that. Like it's a pretty obvious appointment. He's a guy who's obviously a Sydney FC legend, bit of an A-League's legend. He's been around for so long, such an experienced player, and I thought it'd be either him or Andrew Redmayne, and it makes sense that it's not Ryan Grant. Beverage of choice for a 3 a.m. kickoff, probably just like a tea. I mean, we've got like a chamomile tea at the moment. Probably be like a green tea, but I'm a tea guy. I'm a tea guy through and through. Maybe a Milo. Butter a bit earlier in the chat asked hot or cold Milo. Who knows? Maybe like a Milo. Considering it's been real cold at the moment here in Australia, maybe a hot Milo for a cold early morning kickoff. Live stream memes on TikTok. We're live on both YouTube and TikTok this afternoon. Live stream memes on TikTok asks, can you see Perth making finals? Hey, after their Australia Cup playoffs performance, there's a chance. I was pretty impressed with the way they played in that game. They defeated Brisbane Roar 4-2. And I think there is an opportunity. I think maybe they're still lacking just a couple quality players. But having said that, I mean, I was really impressed by specifically Abdul Faisal. I thought he was incredible in that game. And he was someone who obviously came over from MacArthur FC and has really slotted into that Perth Glory side already in his first competitive game, scoring a couple of goals, and he looked fantastic. So, and with new head coach, I mean, they've got new leadership all over the place at Perth Glory, new head coach, new owner, right? So, yeah. Hot chocolate for football games, in my opinion. Can't wait to have a couple at Oz Cup games this week. And obviously the Australia Cup coming up this week. Let me know what matches you guys are looking forward to. My Australia Cup predictions video is out right now if you want to check that out afterwards as well. I'll go through and give my score tip for every single game, 16 games. Let me know if you're heading to any games as well over the next couple of weeks. Round of 32 getting underway tomorrow night. That'd be tricky, wouldn't it, Butter? Says, I hate playing away in Perth because we have kick-off at 12:30 a.m. New Zealand time. Last time we played, I tried making coffee for the first time. I learned it's not the same way as making Milo. Yeah. Tricky with the time zones in the A-League, isn't it? Especially for New Zealand and fans in WA. So, as we come towards the tail end of our stream here, final word on the Tillies as we head into our next game against USA. We've talked about how potentially we could see maybe a shake-up in the lineup. I mean, especially considering this result, I wonder if Tony Gustafsson is really going to go all out with the changes, maybe make wholesale changes heading to the USA game. I don't think he'll do anything that drastic, but, it was a pretty incredible result. Maybe some defensive changes as well. That would be interesting. Maybe a back five, maybe something completely different, playing 3 centre-backs. Osprey in the chat, good to see you here, says, what can be done to tighten the Matildas' defence? It's a great question. I thought I was really concerned with the space between midfield and that back line for the Matildas. I thought there were a lot of times where the back four was sitting really, really deep, and there seemed to be so much space opening up. All of a sudden, it would just get really, really loose, and all of a sudden, spaces would open up for Zambia to break forward. And I did think we were sitting back too much. So I think the back line does need to step up a little bit. I wonder as well if Claire Polkinghorne needs to come in and potentially slot into a position, maybe come in for. It'd be interesting to see who you would drop, though, whether it is Kennedy or Hunt, or potentially bring her in to the middle there and play like a back three and allow Catley and Carpenter to get forward as sort of wing backs. I mean, that could be interesting as well. I mean, if you were to drop Van Egmond and maybe rather than bringing Heyman straight in, play like a front three of Ford, Fowler, and Rasso, where the Fowler maybe comes into a wide role, maybe play Ford through the middle, like a midfield two of Cooney, Cross, and Gorry. And then it is sort of like a back five of Carpenter, Kennedy, Polkinghorne, Hunt, Catley. See, that would be interesting as well, because something that I sort of was keen to see heading into this game was Ellie Carpenter to get on the ball a bit more. I think Ellie Carpenter's best attribute is the way she gets forward from that right back position and contributes in attack. So, yeah. We're definitely keen to keep an eye on this, how this lineup looks heading into the game against USA. G'day, Sterling. G'day, Sterling on TikTok. Good to see you here, man. Dom's got 3 Australia Cup games lined up this week. Morton City against Campbelltown City, Brisbane City against Wanderers, and Olympic versus Apia Leichhardt. No, very nice, Dom. Very nice indeed. I haven't finalised any plans to get to any games. My Central Coast Mariners are playing away in Victoria. We'll be watching that one from the coast, but a couple games in Sydney and Newcastle I'm considering getting to. Who's winning the New Zealand derby? It's hard to call it this rate. Obviously, Auckland is still in the process of building their squad. A couple new signings announced today as well. Probably still be Wellington at this point, but we'll see. We'll see who Auckland sign from here. I guess still a handful more players to come in. I'd expect at Auckland FC. So the next game for the Matildas is taking place on Thursday morning. Thursday morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Kickoff is at 3 a.m. Early mornings for us over here in Australia. 3 a.m. is like a really tricky time too, isn't it? It's not the most comfortable time. It's like too late to sort of like stay up, late from the evening, but it's like too early to sort of. It's a really tricky time where like you wake up at 3 a.m. Well, it depends whether you have work or school in the morning or whatever. Like, do you have enough time to go back to sleep? It's a real tricky time. All right, I think it's time to play some Griddle. Have you played Griddle today? Let me know. How'd you guys go? We're going to test the A-League knowledge live here on stream, and we struggled a little bit in the last stream a few days ago. We've been doing the Matildas live discussion streams for the last couple of games. We're going to be doing one on Thursday afternoon as well, so make sure to join us live for that one. Also, let's see how we go here. We've got Citrus Mariners, which is a good sign. For those that don't know, I am indeed a Mariners supporter. Melbourne Victory here. Players who have 2+ red cards, 10+ finals games, played the season at their club, born in the 1970s. I've never seen that stat show up in a Griddle. Born in the 1970s. All right. Okay. Born in the 1970s, we might have to start there. And 2+ red cards. I wonder if Kevin Muscat, Kevin Muscat surely got at least a couple of red cards. How was Kevin Muscat? Was he born in the 1970s? I'm going to go with Kevin Muscat. Oh, dude, this is tricky. Got it. He is born in the 1970s. Kevin Muscat currently having a fantastic time in China. Currently undefeated in the league, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Born in the 1970s, a player from Melbourne Victory who was born in the 1970s. Obviously, Kevin Muscat could have worked there. Let's see. I mean, maybe some goalkeepers, potentially. Like Michael Theoklitos. Michael Theoklitos. I don't know if he's that old. Citrus Mariners, a player who was born in the 1970s as well. Surely we should be able to get that one. And the first one that comes to mind for some reason, he's from the first season. For some reason, it's Stuart Petrie. Got it. Okay. Melbourne Victory. Melbourne Victory, and a player who was born in the 1970s. Ooh. Like Archie's not that old. Archie, I don't think Archie was born in the 1970s. And we've already gone for Kevin Muscat. But Michael Theoklitos was one that came to mind, but I don't even know about him. Let's do it. We'll do Michael Theo. Nah, dude. I'm curious. We'll look at the answers afterwards. I was potentially way off there. I apologize to Michael Theo for thinking he may have been older than he was. Player of the season, Citrus Mariners. We can go Joshy Nisbet, right? Joshua Nisbet, who was departed the Mariners for this season. Melbourne Victory played the season at their club. Surely Jake Brimmer. Or Damien De Silva picked it up. I know for sure that he did. De Silva. So we can go for Damien De Silva there. 2+ red cards, and you also want player of the season. Okay, that's interesting. That's a bit more of a specific one that we're going for. Player of the season and 2 red cards. I mean, we might go for someone like. I'm thinking of players who have played a lot of games just because they're, less likely to be wrong. I guess. I don't know why I was thinking Ryan Grant. Would he have won player of the season at Sydney though? I'm not sure. Oh, you know who we can go for? Bessa Barisha, surely, right? Pretty sure he's picked up at least a couple of red cards. There we go, 4 red cards. Okay, we've only gotten 1 wrong so far. 2+ red cards and 10+ finals games. Probably Ryan Grant. Surely he's picked up a handful of red cards. There you go. Let's see if we can finish it off here and make it at least 8 out of 9. 10+ finals games for Melbourne Victory. Surely we can go Broxham here. 20+, wow, he's played 20 for Melbourne Victory. And 10+ final games for Central Coast Mariners. We go the mighty John Hutchinson. Okay, 8 out of 9, not too bad. We'll take that. We'll take that in the end. Should have gone for Archie Thompson. Let's have a look at the answers that we got for the one we got wrong. Oh boy, Ante Kovic was the other one that crossed the mind. Kevin Muscat was there. Oh, dude, I should have gone Archie. You're right, Smiles. I should have gone Archie. I didn't think Archie Thompson was that old. There you go. There you go. Michael Theocritus. I'll have to look up what year he was born, Michael Theocritus. I thought maybe he might have been in that age bracket. I was unfortunately incorrect. That's some griddle for you. We always love jumping into griddle towards the end of our streams, or whenever we do our live watch-alongs as well. We like to play some griddle for some halftime entertainment in our live watch-alongs. So one final look at the group standings for Group B in the Olympics as it stands for the women's football tournament. The Matildas sitting in third place at the moment with just 3 points, -2 on the goal difference. That goal difference could be a really crucial deciding factor when it comes to deciding who potentially finishes in second place. For Australia, we're going to hope that we secure a decent result against the USA. If we want to finish second place, we really need Zambia to defeat Germany and then hopefully get a draw against USA. That could work out for us. It's really unlikely, though. I'd be really surprised to see Zambia defeat Germany. I think that'd be a real shock. Obviously, we saw what Zambia did to us. They scored 5 goals against us, but they were very leaky in defence. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows? There could be some more surprises in store for this Olympics tournament. But this team has a huge task ahead of them. First of all, this USA game, and then hopefully we can get through, maybe secure from a place from third place in the group to get through to the knockouts. And then, yeah, obviously the intensity is going to rank up from there. And thinking as well, I mean, guys, let me know. I mean, we're considering doing some live watch-alongs for those knockout games, hopefully if we do get there in the end. Obviously, the kickoffs are at early morning here in Australia. But let me know if you'd be keen for some live watch-alongs, especially for those knockout games. We've just been doing the live discussion streams so far for these group stage games. But once we get into the knockouts, really, really crucial games, let me know if you'd be keen for the live watch-alongs. But 3 a.m. Australian Standard Time hasn't been super comfortable. Maybe slightly more comfortable if you're in like WA or something. But as we mentioned earlier, the final game coming up against the USA this Thursday, the 1st of August, 3 a.m. Dude, we're already coming up to August. This year's flying by, but I tell you what, I'm looking forward to spring. I'm looking forward to summer. And you know what that means as well? The A-League season is rolling around soon. There's a lot going on at the moment. We've got the Australia Cup kicking off tomorrow. Some big games this week in the Australia Cup. Sydney FC away to Oakley Cannons, a rematch of that quarterfinal from a couple of years ago. Brisbane City host Western Sydney Wanderers. Blacktown City host Adelaide United. Big games this week. O'Connor Knights of Macarthur FC as well. Another A-League opposition in action this week in the Australia Cup. And then this coming Saturday, we've got an all A-Leagues matchup in the Australia Cup. Perth Glory host Melbourne City. Keep an eye on that one. That could be a really, really fun game to watch as well. But obviously all focus at the moment is also on the Matildas and this group stage game on Thursday against USA. A dramatic match, though. One final word on this game. 6-5. Can we just acknowledge that scoreline, that result? Can we also acknowledge that effort from Zambia? Credit to them for putting in an incredible fight, scoring 5 goals against Australia, and it just giving us a real roller coaster of a football match. But Australia, the Matildas, for digging deep in those crucial moments there late on, scoring 4 consecutive goals to secure the victory. I mean, absolutely huge. Absolutely huge from Australia. And we're going to need that effort once again against USA. We're going to need that effort if we are going to have a successful run in the knockout rounds. Fingers crossed we get there in the end. We're going to be live on Thursday afternoon from 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for the live discussion following the USA game. Hopefully a positive result for Australia. Definitely keen to keep an eye on how the lineup looks heading into that game, whether there are going to be any changes, any maybe tactical tweaks, formation changes for that tough game against a USA team who are 2 wins from 2 so far in the Olympics. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Huge week of football coming up. Essendon Elite, good to see you jumping in here at the end of the stream. What a game indeed as well. A little bit of trivia to finish off. Essendon Elite asked, who won the Australia Cup last year? Sydney FC against Brisbane Roar. Sydney FC getting their cup campaign underway against Oakley Cannons tomorrow night as well. So keep an eye on the Australia Cup coming up this week. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure to hit the like button on the way out. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Check out the Australia Cup predictions on the channel, as well as the review video for this game, Matildas 6, Zambia 5. My name is Lockie. This is Coast Football, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.